Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Radio Work, and I'm your forever young host, Kim. And today I have the great pleasure to be here with um, Dr. Neslin, in fact, Watson Drury. So, welcome, Neslin. It's a great pleasure to speak to you today.
Okay, you know I'm just like a child, don't you? I'm giggling away here and enjoying every moment of being here with you. Yes, welcome and thank you.
Thank you. So, I know you've had the most extraordinary life, and I only know a very, very tiny fraction of everything you've been doing in your life to date, and I know that there's a lot more to come. So, would you like to tell people a little bit about yourself?
Wow, Kim, where do I start? Well, I am a beautiful 68-year-old. I will be having my 68th birthday on the 29th of June, and my roses, my birthday roses are about to come out in abundance. So I'd love you and Marina and others to come and see my birthday rose and have a drink with me. So that's where I am starting. Now, I have had a tapestry of experience. I left Jamaica at age 19 to come to England to return to Jamaica as a public health nurse, which is what we call health visitors here. And I have had a wonderful life as a nurse. As a matter of fact, Kim, I was a gold medalist in my nursing career. When I did my nursing exam, I got them gold medal award. So I've been a star. Where's the modesty of the woman? I've been a star for a long time. So, and I then went on to midwifery, because to return to Jamaica as a public health nurse, you've had to have midwifery experience. No, I have to tell you, midwifery was just awesome. It is when I became closest to God. To be privileged to assist a family with bringing a new life into the world. I cannot describe it, and I cannot describe the emotions that I felt as from the privilege. So that's that. And then I went on then to study my public health nursing, and to have my 5 years experience and ready to return to Jamaica. And then I met Peter Drury, and hence the name Watson Drury. Watson is me and the Drury is Peter. And I married Peter in 1981. So a long time ago. We're still together. So of course, then I had to rethink that I am now here in England, and I'm not going to return home. So I've always had a passion for health promotion, because you see, my mantra really from the time I was about age 10 was my father saying to me, live for something, have a purpose. And so my purpose has always been very much around healing and transformation. It depends on who I'm talking to. I probably wouldn't use the word transformation. I would probably say empowerment. And I can articulate that language now, but I recognize it has been so, because as a student nurse, I reckon when I was a second year, I found myself teaching the first years. As a third year, I found myself teaching the second years. So I have always been very engaged with sharing knowledge and empowering others. And as I said, it's healing and transformation. So as a health promotion officer, I had a responsibility for bringing health promotion across health services, local authorities, and the voluntary sector. And the focus then was about accident prevention to the child. So I was very much child-centered. Cut a long story short, I then worked at a national level in developing the school health education program, as it was then called SHEP. And so had a wonderful time, wanted to understand the curriculum even better so that I could be even more influential with teachers. And so I retrained as a teacher. And as luck would have it, you know, I went to teacher training college, and here I am, say in the July, I graduated. And would you believe it? The teacher training college then called me back and gave me a job for the September, because they said, you have got such a wealth of experience, we want you to come and teach health promotion. So exactly. And then of course that was a part-time role, and so I needed to find more, because you know, we had just bought this tumble down house into which we still live. I bought the garden and not the house. And so we bought this tumble down house, and there was a lot that needed to be done to it, so I needed to continue working. So found another job, and again had meteoric rise in health, in education, that I gained promotion very quickly. And my husband was in education, and I noticed that I was rising fast. And I decided to step away from education, because we were both in education. I had just been qualified, more or less, and within 3 years I was a principal lecturer. So, and then I was being headhunted to being head of department. So I left, I stepped away, and returned to health. And when I returned to health, the person who interviewed me said, so I had the call, and the call was, I've got good news and I've got bad news. And the good news was, she said, what do you want, the good news or the bad news first? And I said, if you've got good and bad, why don't you just give me the bad, and then we can end on a high on the good. And she said, the bad news is we are not going to appoint you for the job for which you have applied. The good news is we are actually going to appoint you. We want you to bring the range and depth of your skills together. So within the parameters, we want you to write the job description and determine how much we want to be paid. Girl, have you ever found 2 Christmases coming at once? That was me. Oh my God! So so I was appointed as a deputy director for nurse education, and with the responsibility of developing a degree program for qualified nurses who were already registered general nurses, to bring them into a degree program so that they can have a degree, because it was the nursing education had just changed, and that the nursing profession was going to become an all graduate profession. And so, my darling, I was appointed to develop the modular degree program. And so I started off with it. And of course, I had this breadth and depth of experience behind me. And I had 5 modules to develop. And would you believe it? I wrote those modules in 6 months. Wow. And when I went to my the chief nurse and said, we are ready to go for accreditation, because she appointed me as a joint appointment between education and health, because I already had that strong link with education, and I could still keep my teacher, I could still continue at the teacher training college. So, sweetheart, I wrote my 6 modules, and it had to be accredited by, if you remember, we're talking history now, by what was called the English National Board for Nursing, Midwifery and Health Visiting, END, and it also had to be accredited by the Council of National Academic Awards, CNAA. So we had the joint accreditation. Kim, my 5 modules went through without conditions, you know, and the people in education said, we've never experienced anything like this. But what they were dealing with was, not only was I a nurse, midwife, health visitor, health promotion officer. I already had my master's in health promotion. I already had my honors degree in psychology. So they were dealing with somebody who was multi-level qualified. So of course I knew how to get on with this. So, and that's what when I talk about uh, in my story now, I always say to people, you know, spend on yourself and invest on yourself, invest in your education and in your self-mastery, because the top 10% of people are never unemployed. The top 10% cream will always come to the top. Well, wonderful. And so things, after 2 years, a new manager came in the health side, and she said to me, Neslin, I find you threatening because you're Black, you're a woman, you're intelligent, and I'm going to block you. And I decided nobody was ever going to speak to me like that, because I used to volunteer at weekends with what is now known as the W.O.R.K Foundation. And at the time, it was the Pepperell unit. So I had a lot of experience, and I had already won an ESSA scholarship. So I had a lot of personal development. So I thought I could go out and set up my own business. So I went out in 1989 and I set up Beacon. And at the time when I set up Beacon, Beacon then meant to be engaged and acknowledge negative emotions. And thereafter time, I reinvented Beacon to being your best, to achieve your potential, to communicate for what you want, and to take opportunities now. So the person who had appointed me, who said, you know, write the job description and determine how you want to be paid, had left the organization and had gone on to Middlesex University. So when I contacted her and said, I have now left, and she says, well, I'm here, I've just started this new nursing degree. I don't have any staff, come and help me set up the degree. And she wanted to appoint me, and I thought, you know, I had to travel all the way up to Enfield, and I thought, you know something, I'm not going to work for anybody again. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And I said to her, you have to pay me then £150 per day for 3 days, and the other 2 days I'll go and look for other work. And she said, it's a deal. So every week I decided I wasn't even going to open a bank account. I opened a building society account, because I said I must never ever get into debt. And so I always had to. So anyway, I supported Dame June Clark developing the degree at Middlesex University, and it went like a dream. And then in the next 2 days, when I was looking for work, somebody spotted me, the chief nurse, Dame Yvonne Moores, and she invited me in to join Executive Nurses Network. So and I joined Executive Nurses Network, and somebody told me that Waltham Forest needed a program developed about racism, because the health visitors there were having a very bad time. So I said, okay, I will go and do the needs assessment, which I always work from needs assessment. I went there and I did the needs assessment, and I was cheeky. I said to the managers, the HR person, I said, you don't need a racism awareness program. Your managers need to learn how to manage people properly. And I will develop a leadership for a program for you. So I talked to the managers, I talked to the district nurses, I talked to the health visitors, and I listened to them, and I heard the issues that they had to deal with. And then I parked them. I listened to the managers, and I heard the issues that they wanted to deal with. And both sides, I had asked them, what is your vision? How do you want the service to be? And the managers and the staff wanted the same thing. So I brought them together and I presented. I said, this is what the district nurses and health visitors have said. This is what you have said. These are the barriers. How do we get through the barriers? And so I worked with them. the clinicians and health visitors with the managers together, and then I parked them and worked with the district nurses and health visitors separately, and then I pull them back together. So, you know, again, because I by now I had already operating at master's degree level, so I know how to triangulate. So all I was doing was putting research into practice around triangulation. Well, my darling, that work went so beautifully. Both the health visiting service and the district nursing service went on to win Nursing Time awards. And the director of HR introduced me to the women's unit. And it was through then that I developed a leadership program for the health service executive, because I didn't really understand leadership. My template was borrowed, and a lot of the universities borrowed that. And to cut a long story short, that work formed the foundations of the thinking around the current NHS Leadership Academy. So over time, I have been awarded 3 times by Her Majesty the Queen for leadership and innovation. And overall, Kim, I have won 22 awards. So I'll shut up now.
That's extraordinary. You've had most time. But now you don't work for other people anymore, do you? I don't think. You have your own program running, teaching all of these skills that you previously won all of these awards for, but to individuals, is that right?
Yes, I haven't worked for anyone since 1989. I developed a Beacon, and I focus on leadership. And at the same time, I had a team of 5 people working with me, so I didn't do it all. You know, you can't, whatever you want to achieve, you can't go big and achieve lots working alone. So in Beacon, I had a team of 5 people plus administrative staff working with me. And for the rest of the time, I divided my time with giving 50% of my time back to the health service. As a non-executive director. So for 21 continuous years, I was running Beacon and also working as a non-executive director in the health service. And inclusive of 10 years of that 21 years as a chairman of the then Kingston Primary Care Trust. So I led Kingston for 10 years in its commissioning, and have had a wonderful time.
Amazing.
So, put that phone away, so I shouldn't be hearing it that much. Anyway, continue.
So now you're still running Beacon. What do you do now with Beacon?
Well,
people what you offer?
I diversify. Yes, I still run Beacon. I have Beacon, I have Neslin.com, and I have Beacon Potential. In Beacon Potential, I focus on one command, where I teach people how to connect through the quantum universe to manifest what they want. And Neslin.com is very much around taking leadership globally. And Beacon, I still coach. I am one of the coaches for the NHS register. So yeah, so multifaceted still. But you know something, above that all, Kim, what really keeps me grounded is playing with worms in the earth. Connecting. I am a passionate gardener, and last week I went to the as a VIP to the Chelsea Flower Show, to the just pre-opening of it, and so I had time without the crowds to really take it all in. And you know, this planet is beautiful. This planet is beautiful. And when I look at what nature has to teach us and what nature has given us, you know, where else would I want to be? No, nowhere else but on this planet. It is just so beautiful.
No, I agree. It's amazing. You just have to walk outside and see just the colour of the grasses and everything. Just extraordinary place to live
Mhm.
and all that. So yeah, I agree.
And
So
I'm fortunate enough to live in Kingston upon Thames, so I can walk to Richmond Park. And I don't know if you've ever been to the Isabella Plantation in Richmond Park. If
yeah,
you've never been, you've been
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Wonderful.
My
You know,
husband comes to Hammersmith.
you know how beautiful it is. So,
That's it.
on a weekly basis, I can walk up to the Isabella and I can walk along the Thames, and you know, and that's why my latest book is called Joyful Living, because life is beautiful.
Life is beautiful.
Mm.
And so, Leslie, would you like to tell everybody how they can get in touch with you?
Oh, yes, you can email me at Neslin, Neslyn, at neslin.com. You can also find me on Facebook, and befriend Beacon Organizational Development Global, and of course, importantly, we have Make the News London. So come and find me at Make the News London, because this is where now I am with a new team. I'm with you. I'm with Marina and others in the Stardust Academy. So look nowhere else. Come to Make the News London.
Yeah, and Make the News London, our event that's happening on Wednesday. Um, People are welcome to come along and join us. And they go to um, Make the News or Radio Works World. They'll find the links for it, and they can come along. It's an extraordinary event, isn't it? We're going to be having there'll be some food, and Dr. Nedlin is going to be speaking again and giving some teaching and invaluable information that these years and years and wealth of experience can give us. And people have the opportunity to stand up, tell their own story, and they will also be invited to be in a magazine, which Marina is creating, Sovereign Magazine. So really, it's an invaluable event if anybody wants to network, meet other extraordinary people that have got these kinds of experiences, such as Dr. Nedlin, and other entrepreneurs and amazing authors, and best-selling authors, all kinds of people are at these events. They're real business people. It's not just people coming and wondering what it's all about, although some certainly would be. But there are some extraordinary people at these things with so much to give and so much heart to give it that I don't think there's a better place in the world to be on Wednesday night. And I'm certainly very honoured to be going and to be part of it all. So I will see you, Dr. Nedlin, and Marina, and many other extraordinary friends, and hopefully some of our listeners too. Thank you.
Well,
And
Kim,
thank you
I,
for calling.
I think I'm right behind you, and I am saying to them, drop everything and come on Wednesday. There is no better place to be on Wednesday than to be with us, because when you come into the room with extraordinary people, and we are all extraordinary, who are there for one purpose, and that purpose is to be their best selves. When you come into that room, you're not in competition with anybody. You are there for you and to open up to others. So we want you to come and share your story. We want you to come and recognize how much more there is, because in terms of you getting yourself out, there's no point in you being the very best if nobody knows about you. And what Marina does is she enables your radiance and your magnificence to be profiled out there. Your picture will be in our two magazines. Can you imagine? You know, in the quantum of light, and also in other magazines that Marina is developing. So please drop everything and come, because there is no better place to be. I promise you, there is no better place to be. And I tell you something, if you come and you feel that you have not had the if you haven't had value, I personally will give you your money back. We've never had to do that because people always get value. But I hold you to account and say, if you drop everything and come and you feel that you haven't had value, I personally, Naslin, will give you your money back. So I look forward to you. Come and be with us. Make the news, London, because I tell you something, the only time is now. You are here to shine. And because you are here to shine, we want you to start shining now.
Well, thank you so very much, and I will definitely see you on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it so much, and I'm going to learn so much from you and from some of the other people there as well, no doubt. I've never been away from one of these without learning so many things and without being moved and touched by people's stories and talent. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and to seeing everybody else there and to seeing some of these listeners. So thank you, and thank you for listening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This has been Radio Works. Come back and see us again. Come on Wednesday and have a wonderful time. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you.